Welcome back. Defendant Darrell Brooks continues to make waves in the courtroom as he represents himself in the Waukesha parade crash trial. 6 people were killed and dozens more injured when prosecutors say Brooks rammed his SUV into the annual holiday parade last November. Officials say Brooks continued to drive even after he hit multiple people and others banged on the hood of the vehicle for him to stop. He now faces 76 charges in connection to the crash. Before the trial began, Brooks elected to represent himself, declaring he's a sovereign citizen. After a 50-minute uninterrupted rant by Brooks on Thursday, Judge Dorow put her foot down on Friday, saying his arguments were irrelevant. Brooks continued to yell over the judge, at times in the presence of the jury.
Stop interrupting me. The jury's coming out. We're continuing with this trial despite your repeated efforts to disrupt. Yesterday, sit down. Yesterday alone, sir, 17 interruptions, not including the opportunity that I gave you where you spent 50 minutes, discussing what were primarily either irrelevant or baseless accusations and requests not based in law or fact. I was abundantly patient with you yesterday.
And you still haven't verified by proof any of what I said.
And none of that is required, sir.
Because it is. You can't verify.
Your belief that that's the law doesn't make it so, Mr. Brooks. Your belief that these are legitimate legal positions doesn't change the law and doesn't make it so. So, again,
relevant because you didn't want to.
I'm going to step off and give Mr. Brooks 5 minutes to cool off, and when that happens, I'm bringing the jury out.
I'm not angry at all.
Terry, days into the trial, and we're still seeing these baseless interruptions and objections from Brooks. Could he go too far and have that privilege to represent himself taken away?
Absolutely. There's a case, Ferretta v. California. It's a Supreme Court case that interpreted the Sixth Amendment saying, look, you have the right to self-representation. You have to be competent. And really, it's not mental competence here. Here, we're talking about educational background, language sufficiency. You have to knowingly give up your right to the attorney, and you have to understand the court proceedings. But that right, like every other right, is not unlimited. You must be able to show that you are respectful, that you're not disruptive. And once you're disruptive, you can be asked to leave. And we've seen Judge Shearer do exactly that. And frankly, I believe she could even at this point take the right back from him and make him have counsel so that she can proceed to conclude this trial. I don't think she's going to do that. She's going to try to make it work with him and maybe occasionally have him step out.
Yeah, absolutely. Judge Dorow there could do exactly that. Now, Dina, the real reason for the trial is that 6 people were killed and many were injured, but it seems like Brooks's interruptions are overshadowing the court proceedings. How will that affect the jury's deliberation?
I think that's a great question because it's so absolutely true. He is making himself kind of this centerpiece in a really bad, entertaining way. And the fact is, us as viewers can maybe say, oh my gosh, like cringe or whatever, what he says. But those jurors are, they are giving up their time to sit there and they do not find this humorous at all. And when he objects in ways when victims' family is on the stand, that has to put off the jurors in a way that most lawyers would never let their client do. He's definitely making himself look really badly in front of that jury.
Yeah, I anticipate a very quick verdict in this case, and it might not be one that Darrell Brooks, or whatever he wants to call himself, is going to like. Now an update on a story we first brought you here on Law&Crime Daily. Autopsy results reveal the cause of death for 16-year-old Kylie Rodney. Rodney was reported missing in early August when she was last seen at a party near Lake Tahoe. She texted her mother that she would soon return home, but never arrived. Her 2013 Honda CR-V was also missing. Weeks later, the Oregon-based dive team Adventures with Purpose announced it found Rodney's body in the overturned SUV. California officials later confirmed the remains and vehicle belonged to Rodney. This week, California officials announced Rodney's cause of death was drowning, saying there is no evidence of foul play. Rodney's death has now been ruled accidental. Coming up on Law&Crime Daily, the sordid case of the so-called Doomsday Cult duel. Will the pair be headed to trial in January? Plus, it's Ohio versus George Wagner IV. Jurors get an inside look at Wagner family dynamics.